want to thank you all for coming out tonight, and I want to certainly thank the Chamber for sponsoring this event, and the paper, the Forest Park Review, for putting this all together, and mainly to thank you. You know, we look around this room and we see standing room only. I see so many people out here, and this is really what it's going to take to lift Forest Park up to the next level. But before I get into that, I want to talk to you a little bit about my background. I think some of you people know me. I spent the first 11 years of my life in Forest Park. Lived actually a block and a half down the street. And I went from kindergarten through 5th grade here at Field Stevenson. Ended up doing high school in Lombard. Then I went to the University of Illinois, where I got a bachelor's degree in engineering and a master's degree in engineering, in civil engineering. And I've worked for Chicago Bridge and Iron Company for 33 years. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Chicago Bridge and Iron Company, because I think it's a kind of defines the kind of person I am. Chicago Bridge and Iron Company is an international construction company. We do most of our work fixed price, firm fixed price contractors. And we're, like I said, we're an international construction company, so we compete with some of the most competitive environments and most competitive companies in the world. And that kind of environment does a couple things for us. It demands efficiency, innovation, teamwork for you to be successful. And we are proud to say we're a 121-year-old company, 122 years old, and we've never walked away from a job, no matter how bad we bid it, no matter how much money we were potentially going to lose by it, but we've always met our commitments. And it has a lot to do with my nature. As an international construction company, we have what they call engineering, fabrication, procurement, and construction. So that we have all that capability. And those are the kind of environments in which you learn to build teamwork. You have a lot of conflicting demands when you're building a multi-million dollar, $500 million, billion-dollar project. You have a lot of conflicting demands, both from the customer, code requirements, and internally between the various factions within the company. And we've learned that it's only through teamwork, open discussion, debate, and open participation can we develop the best solutions that allow us to perform as the most economical way we can, to allow us to make the most money we can. And it's that kind of environment that I've been working with 33 years that I want to help bring to the village. In terms of my service with the village, I started getting involved probably, well, 25 years ago when a developer or kind of a building was built next to my apartment building, no permits. They came in. If you know where I live, I was across the alley from a 4-car garage. It turned out turned out to be a little factory for an awning company for a while. But the people that built it had people within the village that they knew, so they really didn't have to follow the zoning. They really didn't have to get permits. They were able to do it. That was one of my first experiences with the village. And from there, I attended some of the water project meetings that were at the Living Word, and heard a little bit about some of the problems that were proposed that we had in terms of water pressure, and listened to some of the discussions about that about the town hall meetings we had there. And then got involved when the Roos property was being redeveloped, and went to some of those meetings. Eventually got put on the Plan Commission in 2005, and was elected to the Village Council in 2007. And for those of you who have attended the Village Council meetings, you can kind of see what drives me, or what kind of things that I brought to the council that I will bring to the council as mayor. First of all, you probably have seen that I believe in discussion. I believe in discussion of the issues that we have before us. I believe in participatory government. I've tried to engage the council in discussions on issues to encourage citizen involvement, to get people to participate, so that you can hold us accountable. Because when you're involved, you make us accountable, and we make decisions that are for you. When people do not participate, then politicians, leaders get isolated, and their decisions don't reflect the will of the people. And the key to participatory government is making information readily available. It's true that we get council packets 48 hours ahead of time, but there's no reason why we shouldn't be posting minutes to staff meetings online well in advance, so that you know the kind of issues that are coming, not in the next council meeting 2 days later, but in the council meeting 2 weeks from now and a month from now. We can provide you with that kind of information so that you know what kind of things are coming for us before the council well in advance. So it's not a matter of waiting for the council packet to come out 48 hours ahead of time. We can also help by having online forums and online input to our council meetings so that you can actually present public comment that's part of the official record online and be a part of the process remotely. There's technologies that exist certainly that allow us to do that, that allow us to have greater participation than what we currently have. You also know from being at council meetings that I am fiscal conservative. I believe in fiscal responsibility. I want to demand the most for your money and insist that we spend our money wisely. And of course, we have not, we've diminished our reserves, and I believe in building our reserves because it brings us a lot of options. When we have reserves, we can address issues that come before us, funding that's available to us from the federal and state government. Without reserves, we potentially miss out on those opportunities. We were fortunate that when the Harvard and Jackson developments took place, that we were able to go down to Springfield, get some no interest loans for 3 years, because without that, we would not even have been able to afford the matching funds. So it does take them. We do need greater fiscal responsibility and greater reserves, and I'm committed to building those back up. I also believe in working with other communities. Participatory government also means working with other communities. We reactivated our K-9 unit. We need to work with our other communities because many in this area do not have that. We can work with them to use that capability across village boundaries. You've also heard me talk about business districts and what we want to do for business districts. You know, currently we have a problem in our business districts with rodents, and there are a few ways we can try to deal with that. Part of the problem is that the dumpsters get full and the lids are open. We have access to food waste. By working with the business owners to collaborate on waste control, we can get them to save some money. Working with the haulers, we can reduce access to waste. Potentially put in a cardboard box compactor, something like that, where as a collaboration we can work together to kind of solve their problems. We can recycle the cardboard, reduce access to waste, lower their costs. I've also advocated that we establish a Harrison Street business district. There's a lot of things going on along Harrison. As you know, there's a gas station or a repair place that may come before us where somebody wants to install a senior housing, subsidized senior housing. There's the Roost property that will be developed in one form or another. We need to address the Harrison Street area and possibly put together a Harrison Street business district so we can guide some of the things that go on along Harrison Street. When I was a kid in that area, we had a pizza place, we had a drugstore, we had cleaners. There was a little business district that served that community. And it builds a sense of community to have something like that. I advocate us putting together a Harrison Street business district. And as far as the old leasing car dealership at Roosevelt Road explains, I've advocated that we proactively identify sales tax sharing programs so that the marketers of that property, certainly it is a private ownership, but we can be proactive in how we assist in the sale and identify the sales tax rebates that we would be willing to allow and willing to give, so that when they're marketing that property, they know that the people that they're dealing with know that the village is ready, willing, and able to provide sales tax incentives to get them to take that place. So there are ways in which we can attract businesses proactively and guide the development along Roosevelt Road. I'd also like to talk to you a little bit about some of the things you might have been hearing. You know, it's kind of like that game we used to play when we were in grade school, telephone, where one person talks to the next person and the next person talks. pretty soon you wait until it gets around to you, and then you kind of hear, okay, well, what was said? I've heard a few things being said about the fact that that I want to end Summerfest, or I don't want us to participate in Summerfest. The village is not going to fund that. That's certainly not true. And just so that, as it got around the telephone, if you hear that rumor, recognize that that's not true. And I'm here to tell you that I think the Summerfest is a great function. I want to work with our business owners to see how we can even leverage it even further so that we continue to promote Forest Park. Just like some of the other community events we have, whether they're Rib Fest or Groovin' in the Grove or our cruise nights, to use those community functions and community affairs to promote the village of Forest Park. And to seek sponsorships out in the open where everybody understands who our donors are, how we put this together, and how we're doing, and then have meetings afterwards that say, okay, what was successful, what wasn't successful, how can we make this better, not only for the residents, but for the businesses and Forest Park in general. So I'm all for Rib Fest, the Summerfest, and some of the other community affairs that we have. The other thing that's come around is that somehow that I don't like the community center. I'm going to do something about the community center. The community center is a very valuable resource that we have in this town. It's valuable for all residents, for our children, for our seniors, for our families. I like the community center, and I'm committed to maintaining it. Karen is sitting right here, our director. She's done a wonderful job since she's taken over for the last couple of years. I want us to actually improve the community center. We can look at ways of improving that hall area. We have great restaurants in Forest Park. We don't have very many places where you can have a lot of people to come and visit or have a banquet. I'd like to see us improve that hall, look to get restaurants to help us serve and use that facility to even greater extent than we do now. So I congratulate the community center and all the things that they do, and look forward to working with you to make it even better. You know, in some ways, you have a very clear choice in this next election. But in some ways it's not a very clear choice. The mayor and I have both been here a long, long time. The mayor his whole life, me for over 40 years. We attended school in this town. We've lived here most of our adult life. We're property owners, employees, so that in some ways we're very similar. But in other ways, you do have a clear choice. My style is more teamwork and open involvement for both the residents, fellow commissioners, staff, and the current administration, I believe, has become a little isolated over the years. And I don't know if that's, I know that wasn't always the case. I remember early in the mayor's term that there were town hall meetings. There seemed to be a greater degree of input from the citizenry. It did seem like that all residents were treated equally, but I think that there is certainly a difference in how that we would govern. And I hope that when you go to the polls, that you will honor me with the privilege of serving as your next mayor. Thank you.